few days before Season 6 debuted, Overwatch 2 appeared on the Steam page, aka it was going to release for Season 6. Now, a lot of people thought why, but when you really think about it, it was a good business decision. I mean, they're gonna have their biggest content drop ever for Overwatch 2 since the release of it, and what better time to get people to play the game who haven't played the game before than, you know, this. And it's been approximately 4 days since the release of it on Steam, and it has over 110,000 reviews, but 91% of them are all not recommended, and there's only 9% of people who actually recommend the game. It is one of the lowest rated Steam games. I don't know if it's of all time, but I would definitely think it's of all time. Now, if you use Steam, you would know that overwhelmingly negative is definitely not common. It's definitely rare to stumble upon a game which has mostly negative reviews, let alone overwhelmingly negative reviews. And if you've been part of the fandom, you might say that, hey, the fandom is super sad because they always shite on the game. And just generally, the fandom just generally hates Overwatch 2 without any real reason when talking about the state of the game. And generally just content creators do posting. And before the release on Steam, I thought to myself, yo, let's talk about the stuff that makes the game good. So that's what we're going to do in today's video. Hey, hello, what's up, whatever, it's your new boy Les, and welcome to a new video. And if you're new, welcome to the channel. Overwatch 2 definitely does get a few compliments here and there from people in the space. And if you watch some of my streams, there are a lot of times where I actually praise some of the things in the game. So instead of having these very negative hot takes, as people call it, let's have some positive hot takes. Positive hot take 1. Overwatch 2 is the best team-based multiplayer shooter game in the entirety of gaming. Let me explain. So you have CSGO, you have Valorant, I don't know if you want to say Fortnite, sure, I guess, but you have all these different games which have multiplayer capabilities. Multiplayer games are definitely not foreign in today's gaming. They've been a staple in gaming since like forever. Whether it's local or online, multiplayers have definitely been a thing since, wow, even arcade games, man. Overwatch has different roles: tank, damage, and support. There's loads of characters for each category, and each category is meant to do a certain thing. Each of these roles are unique in their own different ways and help accompany the team to a win. It's the best team-based game because the entire team needs to be able to do well in order to win the game. Let me say Valorant, for example. In Valorant, you could, I mean, it's a possibility for sure, but realistically / theoretically speaking, there are a lot of scenarios where you can win a 1v5. Even the same with CSGO. In Overwatch 2, that's just simply not the case, regardless of what role you're playing. Now, obviously, yes, we can get super duper specific and say that, yes, it's actually possible if you do this, this, and this. Name one time that you've clutched a team fight on Genji by yourself. Now, not to say that it doesn't happen, it most likely does, but it is very rare. And I think that's a great thing as to why it makes it a good team-based game, because you need to play with your team in order to win. You can't play by yourself to win type thing. Yes, maybe you could say like, oh, League of Legends is actually really hard because X, Y, and Z. To be honest, yes, there are probably some other comparable games, but in terms of my entire time of playing team-based shooters, Overwatch 2 is definitely the best one out there in terms of what it's providing. Hot take number 2. Overwatch 2 is possibly the most diverse game, I would also say as well. Now, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other games to compare it to, but in terms of the most popular ones right now, Overwatch 2 definitely takes the cake easily. There's males, females, gays, lesbians, different body sizes, different skin colors, different cultures, different backgrounds, different backstories. Every single hero has that. Now, yes, I know that there's some heroes where it's not really explained in terms of like who they are, where they're from, and stuff like that. I think like Lucio is one of them. We don't really know anything about Lucio, and definitely the amount of heroes in the game definitely contributes to that like diversity. There is representation for all different types of people everywhere in Overwatch, and it continues to include different people from different backgrounds and whatnot. And I know that a lot of people like that idea, to feel included and stuff, because if they feel included, that means they can relate. It's cool to relate, I guess. Hot take number 3. The team behind Overwatch is possibly the most passionate team I've ever seen in terms of gaming, and it really shows in the game. Let me explain, because I know it sounds kind of mad. I've only really heard good things about the Overwatch dev teams, and to be honest, I can't lie, it does show in the game. Like, I cannot think of another dev team that is just as transparent as, you know, the Overwatch team. They host these talks, they put out blogs about the state of the game. I mean, not to say that, you know, devs don't do that, but it's, you know, kind of foreign to see a AAA game have devs that are like this, where they have blogs, they sometimes talk to their creators, you know, hosting creator summits, allowing creators to have early access to heroes and stuff, and getting their opinions on the hero and the state of the hero and how it will blend in with the final game. And just the attention to detail, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's things like the battle pass and the monetization of the game, which absolutely sucks, and even the empty promises as well. I mean, but besides those things, which is not entirely in the devs' hands, I mean, they're just really good. Like, I just saw a tweet from Hoshi, and she quote tweeted basically a tweet that was saying like, yo, why are people hating on the devs? They love this game so much. And Hoshi had a conversation with one of the devs, and the devs was basically telling her like, yo, you know the mythic Ana skin for this season? We had to like re-rig the whole thing, and rigging is basically like the bones and skeleton of the skin to what allows it to do the specific movements that it can do. So they had to basically re-rig Ana for that skin, which is a lot to do already. Just generally just jumping through hoops just to get stuff done, I would say. Yes, I'm not gonna lie, they do make some very questionable decisions, like buffing Bastion, buffing Soldier for some god-awful reason. Overall, they love their game, and I wish that there were more AAA companies that have developers that are as passionate about their game as Overwatch is about their game. Other hot take, Overwatch 2 has a really great story, probably the best that I've seen in a live service team-based game. Now, I don't want to make a bold claim, but I kind of do want to. With the debut of Overwatch, as in like Overwatch 1 from 2016, it introduced a story, and I would say that gaming never really saw that, you know, in a multiplayer game especially. There's a story about a bunch of characters that you can play in a multiplayer game against other people. It wasn't really common, and I would say that they're kind of the catalyst that begun the trend of people now having stories in their multiplayer games. Like for Valorant, each of the characters are unique and have their own backstory. I'm assuming, I don't know, I haven't done my research, but I'm assuming based off just how different the characters are, that's what's happening. And even Fortnite never really had a story in the beginning, unless you count, you know, Save the World, aka the PvE. But in terms of Fortnite Battle Royale, it didn't have a story until like season 3 or 2, I forgot what it was. And then the Meteor and Black Hole and, you know, all that stuff. Almost every single origin story, or at least the ones that I can think of right now, have been great. The background of each character is insane. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not deep diving into the lore. Like, I know that there's comics for Overwatch, I don't read them, I don't know where to read them, I don't even know where to find it, you know. All I know is that with the lore that I've seen so far, it's great. Even just in game, the references to the lore, when you kill a person, when you spawn in with certain characters, you know, the voice lines do connect with the lore. Like if Genji kills Hanzo, there's gonna be some kind of cool voice line referencing, I don't know, the cinematic that's in there or their origin story. It's overall great, and I can't really think of a hero where I'm like, his story's mid, or a story where it's like, okay, this is, you know, not really bad, to be honest. And I'm glad that with Invasion, they're now pushing the story of Overwatch, because it's been at this like point since 2016 and it hasn't advanced. So I'm finally glad that, you know, we get to see some progress, not with just the entirety of Overwatch, but each and every single character. Other hot take, the cinematics and origin stories are great. Iliari's background story is, I can't lie, bro, is good. I mean, I'll just say this about every single one. It's a great brief intro into who the character is, why they do what they do, what happened to them that made them the way they are, or whatever, you know. It's great. Even the cinematics are cool as hell. Like Kiriko's one is fire, I can't lie to you. If there's one thing for sure, the animation team, the people who generally work on delivering the lore in a visual space, is great. They are goated. And also, a little nice thing that I like is that the settings of the cinematics, they're very consistent to the maps that we play in Overwatch. When I was doing the stream that I did on Twitch where I was reacting to all the origin stories and the cinematics of the game, I was surprised to find that like, yo, this is actually like the map and the way that the map runs, you know, like Eichenwald. Watching Reinhardt's, you know, cinematic and seeing that like, yo, this is actually just the map of Eichenwald, but they just cinematified it. It was cool and it's consistent. I don't know, it's just a little thing that I like. But yeah, also just the consistency of abilities as well. Like for Sojourn cinematic, for example, you see her using her abilities that she has in game in the cinematic, and it would be only those abilities. So I just like the consistency. I think that's personally really cool. And you know, they don't do something that's like, oh, that would be so cool if they could do it in game, you know, because they already put the cool thing in game. Yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. So if you haven't enjoyed this video, then please do. And if you haven't enjoyed this video, then please do drop a like. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you do want to, of course, and also if you want to check out my other videos or past streams or whatever the case may be, then please do subscribe. That'd be greatly appreciated if you do want to, of course. You agree with some of these takes? You disagree with some of these takes? And what do you like about Overwatch? Anything about it, let me know in the comments below. And you know what it is, guys. Peace.